This is the place where John Wesley is buried. John Wesley, the founder of Methodism in the 18th century, who was an incredible man of faith and man of God. What John Wesley did in the founding of Methodism impacted millions of Christians across the world in many, many countries, helped found and begin many different denominations and mission organizations. And John Wesley had at the heart of everything he did three things: prayer, evangelism, and justice and mercy. And just down the road from here, I believe there's something that can really inspire us today in 2017. A principle and something that John Wesley put into place, which is inspiring and challenging for us today. So here at Tabernacle Street in central London, about 50 metres down the road, was the venue where Wesley established the Foundry. The Foundry was a place of prayer, persistent and regular prayer. Wesley used to wake up at 4 a.m. every morning and pray for 3 hours before he began his day of work. Wesley made sure that everything he did was rooted and covered in prayer. The Foundry was a place of justice and mercy, a place where the poor were cared for, where widows and orphans were looked after and found accommodation. The Foundry was a place where people received loans, small loans, manageable loans that enabled them to overcome debt, to start businesses and to get their foot on the ladder. It was a place where people were taught to read and write, where they were helped to get a job, where they were able to move on in the social mobility of the age, where love wasn't just demonstrated in words but in deeds and in actions. The Foundry was a place of evangelism. It was a place where people were trained in how to preach and explain the gospel, to then go round the nation proclaiming the good news of Jesus. Wesley, after months and months on horseback traveling up and down this country, he would always come back to the Foundry and spend time envisioning and re-energizing the troops, the Methodists, the early Methodists, in the centrality of the gospel and the vital message of Jesus Christ, and explaining that to the people of England and beyond. Jeremiah 29 and verse 7 says, "Seek the welfare of the city, pray for it, and as the city prospers, so too will you." As believers, we're called to seek the welfare of London, of Stratford, of the communities that God has put us in. Hope Church is called to have a dramatic impact across the city of London, the nation, and the nations. To be a hub, to be a centre of prayer, of justice and mercy, and of evangelism. Like John Wesley in the 18th century, Hope Church is called to do far more than we could ever ask of or imagine. Let me challenge you today to think, what part am I going to play? What are each one of us going to do in being a part of Hope Church, impacting and changing the nation? Let me close with this. One of John Wesley's most famous sayings was, "Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can."